Economic processes, how do they influence the world community and everyday life of people? What trends will be popular among consumers and how will the international markets evolve? For further details, watch the program People and Economy.
Today in the program, which country holds leadership in car sales? Have the price increase continued in year 2014? And will the Kazakhstani electronics market grow in future? In 2014, automobile companies in the United States withdrew 60.5 million vehicles in order to eliminate defects and malfunctions, Bloomberg reports. The previous record set in 2004 has been blocked almost doubled. A kind of anti-record has established General Motors Corporation, which recalled to the United States 27 million vehicles during the last year. Till now, no any manufacturer rose to such peaks. In Finland, the prices for venison rise. The purchase price to wholesalers is almost 10 euros per kilo. The price increase is explained by the growing demand, as well as several unsuccessful years for reindeer herders. The demand for venison is not limited to the domestic market. Overseas interest on the daily meat has also increased. Housing prices fall in the UAE. According to the data for 2014, the number of existing dwelling sales in the country fell by 30%. According to analysts, in the coming 2015, prices will continue to decline. The main reason is the withdrawal from the market of buyers from Russia, Europe and Asia, as well as a smaller volume of sales of secondary housing. Cars are changing the world, making our lives more convenient and comfortable. That is why the world car market is growing by leaps and bounds. In Europe now 1,000 residents accounted for about 500 cars. During the first 6 months of 2014, 32,742,000 cars were sold at a total. These are the findings of the International Association of Automobile Manufacturers. And growth is observed not only in the developed states. In 2014 in Kazakhstan, as the Automotive Business Association states, more than 150,000 vehicles were sold. It is an increase compared to 2013, even though a slight one. If talking in terms of different segments and classes of automobiles, it is known that the lion's share was made up by middle-class cars with price below $20,000. The results of 2014 show continuing interest of consumers towards off-road vehicles and crossovers. Only 14 years ago in the world, 180 items of machinery class SUV were produced. Now this figure makes 370. In the United States, in the first half of 2014, SUV became the most popular class among the local buyers. Today, the share of off-road vehicles in total sales makes up 36%, and analysts predict that soon cars in this class will occupy half of the market. If we take the SUV segment in 2014, about 37,000 of cars of this type and class were sold, and this is quite a good result. Still, comparing to 2013, we can see a decrease in sales, more than by 7%. There is a difference between the reasons for the growth of car market in different countries. For example, the European market is growing largely due to the replacement of old cars by the new ones. In developing countries, including the CIS states, market is growing due to the influx of new car owners. In order to stimulate the growth of the car market, special programs for consumers are needed.
Автомобили в 2012 году спрос сохранится.
The demand for cars in 2015 will remain. At first, there will be the increase in volume of Kazakhstani production, which in turn leads to affordable prices and cheapening of production itself. Taking into consideration that government actively works in these terms by subsidizing and so on, and there will be the increase of share of financial products, or in other words, credits for car purchases.
Простым языком говоря, это кредитов, выдаваемых на приобретение автомобилей.
The top 5 leaders in car sales for the first 6 months of 2014. China is on the first place with more than 9.5 million cars. The second place is held by the United States with almost 4 million automobiles. It is followed by Japan and 2.5 million. Fourth place among the world's car markets goes to Germany with more than 500,000 cars. The top 5 leaders closes India, whose inhabitants for only half of a year have acquired 1,290,000 vehicles. When buying a car, pay more attention to the after-sales service. Typically, customers of auto sales rooms forget that no matter how new the transport is, it will need to be maintained. The more opportunities auto show offers, the more pleasant your purchase will be in the future. The after-sales service may include consultations, technical maintenance and repair in the event of a breakdown, supply of consumables and spare parts, and replacement of defective products under the warranty. Key tendency of consumer goods sector is the annual increase in food prices worldwide. Such a forecast for the years 2013-2022 was made by experts of the Food and Agriculture Organization FAO and the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development.
Одним из первых я бы назвал сейчас это глобализация.
Firstly, I would call the globalization, because everything is quite interdependent. Inflation also plays a significant role. Secondly, according to Food and Agriculture Organization's data, 1 billion of people worldwide do not eat enough, or basically somewhere the deficiency of food products exists. Supply exceeds the demand, which also can be the cause to price increase.
Спрос больше, чем предложение, что тоже может одной из причин быть по росту цен.
Regardless of experts' forecasts, 2014 has become an exception. World prices for food products in September fell to the lowest rates in the level of August 2010, as the representatives of FAO say. Figures were particularly low for prices on sugar and dairy products, followed by the price index for cereals and vegetable oils. At the same time, the cost of meat has not changed much. Still, experts believe that despite the results of 2014, in future food prices will rise.
Вы же знаете, животное потребляет и рис, и зерно, то есть это исходно это растительные продукты.
You know that animals eat rice and grain, meaning these original products are needed not only for human consumption, but also for the development of cattle breeding. It is obvious that it also affects the deficiency. Thus, in the end, it defines the demand, and when there is a demand, prices grow correspondingly. Talking about meat, nowadays modern technologies allow creating big farms and many other modern technologies which allow reduce the cost of livestock production.
Создавать крупные фермы и еще много современных технологий, которые нам позволяют как-то сдерживать или снизить себестоимость животноводческой продукции.
In 2014, the steady growth in the market of frozen products and semi-finished products continued. Today, people are spending less time for cooking from scratch. Working women also prefer to buy almost prepared food, so the experts predict a further rise in their popularity.
Потому что сейчас города очень большие, и обеспечить их...
Now cities are quite big, and it is a real problem to provide them fully with fresh food products. That is why citizens of such cities are usually provided with ready-to-cook meals. Today the life also has become more intensive, and people don't have much time for cooking, so they constantly consume food that is almost ready to eat.
Уделять на приготовление пищи, поэтому часто у них как-то употребляют полуфабрикаты на приготовление пищи, которые требуют мало времени.
In 2014, there was also a trend for consumer literacy. More and more people in the world read the information on food labels, trying to pay attention to the ingredients, high-calorie foods and other important indicators.
Как пример передовых стран показывает, что продолжительность жизни человека...
An example of developed countries shows that the life expectancy of a person depends much on the food quality. For instance, Japan or Scandinavian countries. And now, when the well-being is gradually developing, when people are becoming more literate and pay attention to quality, we no longer have the food safety. Now we take care about the nutrition safety. That is why people pay more attention not to quantity, but to quality and safety.
Люди поэтому большое внимание уделяют не на количество потребляемого, но на его качество, на безопасность.
High prices for meat products will lead to the fact that the total amount that countries spent on food imports in 2014 again will exceed $1 trillion. This actually is happening now in its 5th year in a row, according to the UN Food and Agriculture Organization FAO. Do shopping in supermarkets and specialty stores. They pay great attention to quality and certified products.
Есть определенная сеть гипермаркетов, которые
There is a network of supermarkets which surely pay great attention towards products' correspondence to what is written on labels and certifying documents, because this is what their business is about.
это сетевая торговая сеть, да, маркой?
Social network users are sharing their thoughts on the market of products and electronic gadgets. Watch out, artist, I've bought this drawing pad for my digital art stuff. We buy locally at our farmers market from May the 1st to November the 1st, and I can pickle, jelly and freeze. In the fall and winter we eat a lot of squash and root veggies. In 2014, the electronics market in Kazakhstan continued showing growth and dynamics compared to other CIS countries. According to the GfK company, retail turnover of home appliances and electronics in Kazakhstan in the second quarter exceeded 94 billion tenge, while during the same period of the last year, this index reached 86 billion. The study also notes that in the second quarter of 2014, the smartphone market in Kazakhstan increased by 48% compared to the same period of the last year.
Сейчас, в наше время уже телефоны...
In nowadays, telephone is not just a mean of communication, as it used to be 10 years ago. Smartphone now is a universal gadget, which allows a person to use every application necessary, be it a camera or access to the internet or any other app. The modern person needs it.
Разные приложения, что человеку сейчас, это современному человеку это сейчас необходимо.
Technic sellers also noted that in the product line of smartphones, it is much more profitable to take expensive models, as functions laid down in them are more relevant for a long time. A consumer has different variants to choose from. It is possible to buy a telephone using payment by installments, and it won't create any problems. Still, I would like to advise to take more expensive model, because it for sure will correspond to requirements of our time, and it will be working longer. If a customer takes ordinary model, it soon will become out of fashion, and he or she may want to buy another telephone. So, why to buy a telephone twice, if it is possible to buy a good one just once?
Я бы так посоветовал.
Global smartphone shipments in 2015 will exceed 1 billion items, but the market growth rate will slow down to 12.5%. These forecasts are done by TrendForce Taiwanese research company. Experts explain such trend by the growing proliferation of smartphones around the world. However, in the Kazakhstani market, the interest towards smartphones is not expected to decline. According to sellers, the demand will continue to grow as in previous years.
Я думаю, тенденция будет не...
I think the tendency won't differ much from the previous years. Also, the companies that conquer now will still launch new flagmanships, which will be in demand as nowadays. So, 2015 will be much alike to 2013 and 2014.
Так и будет в 2015.
One of the well-known forums has conducted a survey among its visitors on a topic, what you can buy for $10 in different countries. The survey showed the following. In Sydney, Australia, for $10 you can buy 2 liters of milk, a package of sliced bread, a kilo of sugar and an ounce packet of margarine. In Lisbon, Portugal, it will be a kilogram of chicken breast, a spice pack to it and 2 small chocolate bars. In Delhi, India, it is possible to buy a kilogram of onions, grapes, tomatoes and potatoes, 2 pounds of chicken, 4 servings of yogurt, watermelon, a family package of ice cream and a large wafer candy. And in Riga, Latvia, it will be just a liter of milk, a loaf of bread, 10 eggs and butter. Beware of small expenses vein, for a small leak can sink a great ship, as Benjamin Franklin used to say. This advice is still relevant now, when manufacturing companies entice consumers with new and new products and services.